Good morning, everybody. Happy fourth day of Ignite. Hope it's been a really awesome week so far. My name is Martin Wall. I'm a principal program manager at Microsoft's Azure Product Engineering Group. I'm based in Redmond, Washington, and I work in our Cloud, AI, and Cognitive Services product group. So today we're going to be talking a lot about computer vision and custom vision services to perform insights on images. And by show of hands, how many of you are currently active Azure developers? And how many of you have used the Cognitive Services platform, any of the portfolio already? Fantastic. Any vision people that use it? Oh, great. So this is perfect. So there's a nice mix. My goal today is to, for those of you who did not raise your hand to any of those questions, give you a brief overview of what is Azure Cognitive Services. It's been talked about quite a lot in the keynotes and the program this week. But then we're going to deep dive into computer vision services, and specifically the key aspects and the APIs that are available for you to use today in this area. And then how do you use that to build some applications that can be used in a variety of different scenarios. I have a bunch of demos that I can show you about what has been done and how to use this. I want to make sure that you leave here knowing that these are services that are available to you right now. And whether you are a developer or whether you are a business decision maker and you don't deal with code, these services can be accessed by you and your organization very easily. We've tried to make it accessible to everyone from the very technical to the non-technical. So that's kind of my goal today. And if we have time at the end, hopefully we can take some questions. If you brought some questions with you, that would be great. So I think you've heard through the course of the Ignite show all about the power and the value of artificial intelligence, of amplification. And from our perspective, really, we see our mission here is to try to make sense of things, teach computers how to make sense of things that only humans have been able to do in the past, either by seeing or by hearing. And then understanding that, collecting that data, analyzing it in mass quantities using the power of cloud to really churn through a lot of data, and then help you interact with that data. So my team not only does the cognitive capabilities, but also works with our partners in machine learning and bot framework to combine all these services together so you can truly have the AI working on your behalf. But in the cognitive services area, and specifically, it's really all about taking the AI and applying it immediately to your business. Now, many of you may have been working with some of our machine learning tools for some time, and maybe you've even developed your own models. The cognitive services suite is the models that Microsoft has already built on your behalf. It's a collection of services. We tend to sometimes refer to it as pre-built AI, but it's models that are already ready to go. And what you can see in this picture is an example of how I can take some of our AI technology, apply it to an image, look at what's happening in the screen, give the system rules, and say, when you see this image that I'm training you on, I want you to do this following action. Like in this case, this venting hose is sticking out in the middle of the factory floor, and a camera picks it up. It's been trained to identify that that's a hose, that's a safety hazard. Therefore, it fires some sort of rule that says, alert nearest employee, or send a text or something like this. This is actually quite a very simple application to construct, creating a flow. But the main root of it is the identification from an image, from a camera, that is a hose, and that hose is a safety violation. And the fact that it's lying on the floor is something that has been pre-taught. So that's part of using our Vision API to construct an app of this kind. Now, there's a whole lot of these cognitive services, and they fall into these categories. We call them perception and comprehension. And for those of you who have been using this for a while will already recognize these categories, because these are services that have been available to you for some time. All of the ones at the bottom are the names of the services, the names of the APIs that are available for you to use today. And they range from vision capabilities, which I'm going to talk about extensively today, our speech capabilities, which we've had other sessions on, and I encourage you to take a look at, which is all about text-to-speech, speech-to-text, translating of that text, and even building your own custom speech models. For example, creating your own voice fonts, or adding words to dictionaries that were slang or jargon or three-letter acronyms that are not regularly found in regular language dictionaries. So that's our speech area. In the area of language understanding, this is all about looking at words and sort of picking out what the words mean, and we can teach the system how to do that. So if I were to speak to a digital agent and say, buy me tickets to the show coming next week, it recognizes the action verb buy, it recognizes what the nouns that I'm using, and it knows what to do. That's what we call language and understanding. And we can use those technologies to do all kinds of great things around text and text analytics. I would say that's probably the most heavily used cognitive service of our portfolio today is around the text area. And in particular, that one on the bottom, if you haven't taken a look at it, I'll put a plug in for my colleagues in the Q&A maker. This is all about quickly creating a bot or a digital agent with no code, just by taking a user manual or a website information and converting it into a bot, and it turns into a Q&A bot instantaneously with no code experience. So this is a great thing for you to take a look at. And then, of course, in the last area is around knowledge, which is doing searches, search of the data that I've discovered. But today we're really going to focus on the first category, that's what our session is, which is all about vision. What does the vision category give you, and what are the capabilities? So I thought the best way to start this off would just be to bring in one of our partners via video, recorded video. Partner's name is Prism. And they have used this technology to embed using cameras that are found all over the world. And obviously we know that there are millions and millions of cameras, both on phones, in smart cities, and manufacturing scenarios. So I just wanted to show you this video, and then we'll continue through the rest of the program. And this is a little bit about Prism. Oops, play the video.
The promise of AI has always been to make lives better and do things that we're doing now on our own in a much more efficient and much more powerful way. But to do that, AI needs to learn. And to learn, it needs information. And one of the best sources of information we have on the world and how it works is hidden in the video cameras all around us. A phenomenal amount of video is generated every year, and it's not just the hundreds of millions of cameras all around us, it's the billions of cell phones that we all keep in our pockets. Prism is a cloud software company that connects to cameras that already exist in the marketplace and analyzes that video in a way no human can. It slices and dices the video and puts that into our data structure so it's searchable and available to customers. Microsoft is a big part of the smarts that help the indexing and understanding of video happen. To use Prism, all you have to do is pull out your phone and type in what it is you're looking for and where, and Prism will find it. The value comes from unlocking the hidden information in video, and that can be just as valuable for a factory or a construction site or hospital as it is for a retail store. Prism also takes that video feed and turns it into a stream of information that can be used to let that business run better. Microsoft's computer vision API can understand different kinds of objects, texts, other types of information. Merchandisers might use us to look into their stores around the world, or people in retail operations might use us to build a dashboard of important metrics. Places like hospitals or healthcare facilities can use Prism to understand where their doctors are so they can more quickly connect those doctors with patients. In verticals like industrial or construction, Prism can be used to help track really important critical machinery. If you're on a construction site and you wanted to be notified when the cement mixer arrives, you can use AI to do that. Prism brings a really unique set of content into the world of AI and machine learning, and Microsoft brings some of the best technology and people in the world to help understand that content. It's an exciting time, and the coolest thing about it is we're just getting started.
So that was a great overview of what we're going to talk about, and this is the website for cognitive services, and if you go down one level, you get to the list of the vision capabilities. This is what we're going to dive into now. What you saw in that video was a great example of how they use different parts of this service. So I'll try to point them out so you can see the different capabilities that we have. So right now, let's start with the first one, which I think you saw from obviously from the video here, which is all about face recognition. So face recognition, of course, is to take an image or a video of a human being and then discover where their face is and then try to deduce aspects of the face. An example of this, it would be something that I'm running on my PC right now, which is running a live example of the Face API where I can put my handsome face here and smile. And it tries to guess my age. And you see that it's also identifying me because I've preloaded my face as part of the Face API. And here's the emotion, happy, sad. Okay. enough of that. Okay, but I think you get the idea is that the Face API is really all about detecting faces, identifying faces, and even doing things like comparing faces from one to the other. So many of you have applications where you might have a grouping of faces, employee lists, or other things, and you want to do comparison. Some of you might want to identify faces because you're in a retail setting and you want to count how many faces you have. Some of you might want to do this for verification. I was just talking to someone yesterday about an application to do identification where you put your face and you hold your ID card and it matches you. So there's lots of great use cases for this. The Face API, of course, is very, very powerful. It's very, very fast. Although I just turned it on, but the camera that I have, I was pointing at you guys, but the lights that's pointing back at me are blocking the vision. So I was going to guess all of your ages and compliment you all, of course. But that's not going to work right now with the light flashing in my eye. But I wanted you to see that. Now, if you dig into it, every time you call the Face API, you get a JSON document in return. This is an example of the data that you get for one. And what you see is there's a lot that's happening here beyond just guess somebody's age and whether they're smiling weirdly in the camera. You can see that there's a gender, there's age, there's facial hair, there's glasses, occlusions on the face, various other identifying marks on the face, where their lip begins and their eyebrows begin, and this kind of thing. This kind of data, depending on your level of sensitivity and what exactly you're looking for to identify faces, is a very powerful tool that you can use. And so the Face API is one of the first and most common vision services that we have today. Now, when you move on to the next area around computer vision, this is all about image analysis. And of course, image analysis is I'm looking more than just faces. I'm looking for things. I'm looking for objects. I want to identify what I see in here. There's a book. This girl has a cell phone in her hand. She's standing outside. These kinds of things. Now, what you saw in the video, of course, is how you can apply that in a retail setting, in an industrial setting. The guy was in the factory. There's cameras walking outside, that kind of thing. This tool can also be used for celebrity recognition because that's part of the API as well. If you want to then go further and say, well, who do I think this person is based on a list of famous faces that are in the public domain, as opposed to compare this to a list of faces that are in my private domain that I've created and uploaded. So lots of power in the computer vision capability. One of the ones I wanted to call out to you is that we've just updated our optical character recognition tool, OCR. This has been out for a while, but we just moved to the next version of this, which is version 2.0. And this really is super duper powerful. In the past, we've had a little trouble with weird-looking fonts where the text wasn't very readable when it was on the screen. And when we wanted to pull this out, sometimes we were blocked with the engine that we had. But the new version is so much better. So you see the sign that was on the tree or whatever it is. In the past, we weren't able to pick this out correctly. We were having troubles with thin letters like L's. And you can see in this version that we're correctly pulling it out. So the OCR new update is available. I do have this also running on my laptop, so I think I'll just show you that so you can kind of get a sense for how it looks in real time. I'll go ahead and launch that. I took a picture of the sign outside. Not this session, because I didn't have time to upload it, but the session I just did prior to you guys. And I'll go ahead and run it. And this is basically performing the OCR against the sign that was on there. And everything that's in yellow is now digitized. And I can now pull all these words out of the sign. It comes out with the JSON document, and now including the positioning. And I can now use this. So if you want to search for words in images, labels, billboards, news, PowerPoint slides, these kinds of things, you're able to scan or digitally perform this OCR API against your images and pull that out. And you can see, and then, of course, once it's now in text form, I can send this to the text analytics tool and have it determine what this is. Is this positive? Is it negative? Is this giving me a directive? What's the keywords? Are there names in here? Are there famous celebrities? Are there landmarks? So once you've converted it into a digital text form, now I can perform those other APIs that are part of the other parts of the suite. So you get a sense for kind of what that looks like. And it doesn't matter if there are things blocking some of the text. That's the power of the new version of the API. This is a sign behind a fence, and still we're able to determine that what the words are, even though the fence mesh was blocking it before. So the old OCR was having problems with that. The new OCR cuts through the noise, so to speak, and pulls that out. So I invite you to take a look at the OCR, the new OCR 2.0 that just came out, and give it a try. The next area that we have available for you is the content moderator. The content moderator uses all of these vision APIs, as well as the text and image APIs. It calls it on your behalf, actually, but it performs a secondary task, which is to potentially identify objectionable content. Now, what is objectionable content? Before you say, hey, Martin, that's a subjective word. What's objectionable to you isn't objectionable to me. That's exactly the point. The idea is to give you a scale of adult and racy scale, as well as the ability for you to create adult classifiers that can identify things that are objectionable to you. So sometimes objectionable content might be profanity or words that are not good. Sometimes objectionable content might be the sign of parts of the body, and sometimes it might be symbols, religious, political, whatever. So you have the ability through a really powerful rules engine to be able to define some of this stuff. And I can kind of show you how this works also as part of a demo. And I hope you don't mind that I'm bouncing from demo to demo here. So let's go ahead and switch back. So a lot of our tools, you'll notice, are not just the code. And if you go to the website, we have code that's written for you. It's already ready to go. You can just cut and paste it in about 5 or 7 different languages. But we also, the reason I want to show you this is that we have these UIs, these UX tools for the non-technical that you can go to. This is just a content moderator UI, and it's a little bit of a dashboard, so I can show it to you pretty easy. It allows me to upload an image or a piece of text or even a video, and it'll perform the content moderator sweep against it and come back and tell me things that might be concerning. So if I try it, for example, against a body of text, I've written a sample piece of text. The reason why I'm using this is to show, this is a very common example. This is a letter to a bank that I wrote, basically saying, here's the information you asked for that home equity loan that I'm applying for. Now, if I were to send this as an email to the bank, I'm sending them personally identifiable information. This is very private stuff, right? And with the new European data privacy rules, as well as other governance rules, this kind of data really has to be very, very well protected. I mean, I can send it in an email, but the company that's receiving it is on the hook to make sure that it doesn't release it in any way. So you can use this tool to, one, scan through emails and find personally identifiable information, then potentially create rules to block it. So it's not just about objectionable content in this instance. What here I'm finding is personally identifiable information, which I need to handle with special care. So if I submit this to the engine, assuming my network connection runs, and it's done, it's performed the review, and I can go ahead and get the review. It's gone ahead and highlighted what is part of the pre-built AI set for PII, personally identifiable information. You see it's identified address, phone numbers, and my social security number. If I decided that other things have to be also equally as protected, like names, birth dates, or anything else, I could create my own personal customized tags, customized classifiers, and those would be called out as well. And then I could create a rule that says, if you see this, I want you to not show it unless the person meets a certain AD check. Or perhaps I want you to delete it, or I want you to put it in a special vault and encrypt it. So this is a way that you can use the content moderator tool as a way to then determine the next step of your application process flow. I run, and this can be done, of course I did it with text, but in this setting I don't think anybody wants to see me show you a demo of it with images. But I did run a picture of me in a bathing suit just to see what would happen, and it did say that was a little bit racy. I won't take offense, but I think that's true. So, but we won't show that here. But you can use this for text and images and even video. You can do all this with video as well. And I'm going to show you an example of that in just a moment. Back to the slides. So speaking of video, one of the most powerful sources of data that people tend to have in their collections is video. And video, of course, is a combination of all the things we've just been talking about, text and audio and video. And so what happens when we want to perform AI against video? Well, we've got a great solution for you as well. It's called the Video Indexer. It's available right now at that website, video.ai. You can try it for free. You can even upload 40 hours of video content and have it analyze your video content at no cost. So if you're wanting to see how all this works, this is a great way to sort of experience our AI cognitive services platform, because everybody has videos of themselves doing something, or their company has videos. But how does this kind of work? The way it works is with a single API call, it calls on your behalf about 18 other APIs. It assumes you want to perform everything that we've got in the kitchen sink, so to speak, on your videos, and it gives you that all back in a single JSON document. So let's kind of see what that looks like. Again, this is the website that you go to when you go to that URL. It gives you your own personalized gallery. The gallery is tied to your Azure Storage account, your blob storage account. You can create as many of these as you like. And then when you upload videos, it performs an analysis of it and then puts it into this gallery. I went ahead and did that the other day. I took like Satya's keynote address from Monday, and I ran it through the analysis. We'll just give you a quick sample of kind of the data that comes back, just so you can kind of see. But this will all begin to look very familiar to you.
Good morning.
I'm going to mute Satya, not because I don't like him, because I'm talking. And so what it's doing is all of the services that I've just been talking about all combined with each other. Speech to text is happening here. Face detection is happening here. We're doing text analytics on all the spoken words. We're identifying all the objects that are in this video. There's a person, and he's standing, and it's on a floor, and there's probably some other stuff that's happening in the video. Any trademarked services or company names or brands that are referenced in this video will be called out. You can see it's identifying that there's Microsoft here. There's even doing an emotional analysis of Satya's or the other speaker's face. He's clearly joyous in the first part of this video. That's good to hear. We're doing a keyframe analysis. That's every time the scene changes. We're creating a still image so that if you want to create a thumbnail image for your entire video, it's broken down for you. So all of these things, I'm going to take questions at the end. All of these things are available to you as part of a JSON document, which basically you can download, and it looks like this. And we can pour through the JSON, and it's pretty amazing in terms of the amount of data that you can find in here. But everything that I'm talking about is available to you as part of this JSON, and that's all made up of all the other previous calls that were made on your behalf. So if the video indexer or the videos are source of data, and I should say this video indexer tool works for both video and audio files. So if you just have audio files, you can still use the same tool and get all this same thing. You can use this as well. And this is another alternative way to access some of our video tools. And of course, what is the power of a tool like this or any of the tools that we're providing you? Well, if it's not obvious by now, it should be that I can do searches. I can say I want to find every instance of the word coffee or the object coffee in all of my entire video library, and it will find that at the exact moment where the word coffee was found, and I can jump right to those points where coffee is found. If I want to do complex searches, like I want to see the word coffee when combined with the face named Rami, and for those of you who are Mr. Robot fans will recognize this instantly, that it's instantly zoomed in on a scene where there's both a cup of coffee and the face Rami in the same frame so that I can match my search, and I can be as complex as I'd like. So things like this are very powerful, and when you use, whether your data is images or websites or audio files or videos, we've got all these great tools that you can use as part of our AI stack. Now, Bing has offered a new search which you can try out as well. It's called Bing Visual Search. Bing Visual Search is a really awesome way to do an image compare. So all of us are familiar with the idea that I can type in a word in a search engine, and it'll come back with images of that. If I type in, Mickey Mouse, it'll come back with pictures of Mickey Mouse. But what if I have a picture of a face, and I'm looking for something that looks like this? So I'm doing an image search, right? That's what Visual Search is all about. It's about doing visualizations of trying to help you find things that are based on images, and and you can apply that in your business. And a lot of our business companies that have like online retail catalogs, sometimes their customers say, I don't know what chair I want, but I want a chair that kind of looks like this chair that I saw at my friend's house. Like, I want that chair. And they took a picture of their friend's chair, and they uploaded it, and you search through your catalog, not the internet, but your catalog, to find a matching image that goes with that chair. That's the power of a visual search. So these are great tools that you can use, and you can imagine the different scenarios for this, whether you're in retail looking for your neighbor's chair that you covet, or you might be in security and surveillance, or you're in sports or something like this. I want to do an image-to-image compare. And that's part of our collection of visual tools. If you noticed on the previous slide when I was talking about faces, you can do a face-to-face compare. Is this face like this face? If you want to try that. So these are all sort of some great visual capabilities that we have, which then leads me to the final one, which I want to dive into, which is called custom vision. Now, all this time, we've been talking about the ability to recognize faces and recognize images and recognize words that are in our models, that are in Microsoft's data models. So we've built them. But invariably, you are going to have data that belongs to you. You might be in healthcare and you have medical imagery. You might be in science and you have all kinds of different images of pictures of things. You might be in manufacturing. Everyone has things that are specific to their focus, their industry. And so what we wanted to do is create for you a tool to allow you to upload images, for you to go in and say, this is not just a caterpillar, it's the, Speciality Minusus africanus caterpillar, and I want you to recognize that because that's part of what I do for a living, right? So that's what custom vision is really all about. It's about uploading images, training and tagging them, you helping to sort of evaluate and see whether or not that's correct, and then we provide for you active learning. So what does that mean? That means every time we go through and you say, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong, it learns and gets smarter. So the next time, it gets more accurate. So this is a service that's available in a preview state right now, but you certainly can try it. We have a free tier. It's called the S0 tier of Custom Vision. And if you go to your Azure account and subscribe to Custom Vision, you can get free tags and free learning. So you can give all this stuff a try. What's really cool, I think, about this and has the huge potential is you don't have to run this on an online state. You build a model online, and then you download that model to a device. And now I can run that model locally without network access on some sort of downloaded IoT or localized device. This is amazingly powerful. So if you're in a setting where you do not have connectivity, where you do need to recognize things, and you don't want to make every call back to the cloud, because everything I've been talking about with APIs is all calls back to the cloud. This is a great way to implement an AI technology where you're running it locally. And we have deployed and shown how you can do this in Onyx, in Android, in iOS, and other places to do this. In fact, we are about to release a version of some of these demos I've been showing you that's running on cell phones. I've even got one that's running, but I couldn't find the dongle to connect and show you kind of how this works. So you'll have to just believe me when I say that I'm going into an app that's holding up and showing all of you guys, and it's saying person, 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 object, laptop, computer, because it's running here. It's not running against the cloud. It kind of looks like this, but I don't know if you can see. But anyway, so that's an example of how you can run these technologies, not always just in the cloud setting, but on a local device as well. And that's very, very powerful. So how does this work? First step, upload images. Next step, train what those images are. And you can either train it on the whole image, like everything you see in this picture is classified as blank, or you could just train a portion of the screen. And then the idea is that you evaluate, and then it comes back with a percentage, and then you keep training it, and it learns, and it gets better. So for example, if I wanted to do this on apples that are sitting on my kitchen counter, I could teach it, these are apples. Or I could teach it these are golden delicious. Or I could teach it that the region on the left is red delicious. The one on the right is Granny Smith. The one in the back is Honey Crisp. And I'm teaching it something new. These are how you get very specific use of the vision APIs customed to you. Hence, we call it custom vision. So I thought what I would do is try it with you guys here in a couple different ways to show you kind of how this works. So the first thing that we're going to do is let me get my mug off the screen because nobody needs to see that anymore. OK. Go into this tool. This is called the Custom Vision Explorer. It's part of our intelligent kiosk demo. What we've got in here is we've got a bunch of models that you kind of get for free, like a basketball. But I've gone ahead and trained it. We're in Orlando, and my colleague gave me a great idea, which is why not train it on Disney characters? Everybody takes pictures of themselves and their family when they go to Disney. Wouldn't it be nice for the system to auto-recognize what it sees in the picture? So I've trained it on 4 characters, which just happen to be in my family, in my household, the 4 favorites. Goofy, Mickey Mouse, Pluto, and my youngest daughter loves Tiana from The Princess and the Frog. So what I can do is now load up some pictures of here and see what it can do. And see right away it's saying, OK, we found Tiana, but there's a 1% chance there's Mickey Mouse in this picture. Somehow I was wondering if that would get a chuckle, but no. OK, so actually it did very well, because yes, Tiana is in the picture here. I could go in and go ahead and teach it and say, well, you know what, you're right, Tiana is correct, but there's no Mickey Mouse, at least not in the sense that we think it of, and I could save it and retrain the project. And then it would learn again, right? So this is an example of how that iterative process kind of works, right? Now, what happens, so this is kind of how it works in the Custom Vision Explorer. We also, for those of you who prefer to use more of a UI, we also have this at customvision.ai, so you can use this one as well. It works the same way, except this one is tied to my Azure account. So everything I'm saving here will be saved along with in my Azure account with my storage as I'm training it. So I've gone ahead and trained the Disney character model that you just saw. It was there. But I've also trained a second model. I just happened to be, as you might have seen from my Twitter account, an enormous baseball fan. Go Sox. So, and I'm from Boston originally, so I'm obsessed with the Red Sox. I went ahead and trained a pretty extensive model on everything Red Sox because I just get crazy that way. And I went ahead and taught it everything it really needs to know about the Red Sox. But what I want to show you is kind of how powerful this stuff can be when you begin to apply multiple tags and objects. So I'll take a picture of Fenway Park here. If you haven't been there, you need to visit. And this is really showing like everything off. So now it's going bonkers, and that's because I've trained it this way. It's identifying the light towers, it's identifying the Coca-Cola bottles, it's identifying the green monster, it's identifying the Citgo sign in the back, it's identifying the standings and the scoreboard, and et cetera and so forth. So this is like going really like all things. So I wanted it to learn how this works. And as it goes, and sees the percentages are a little lower as it gets down, mostly because it's a little blurry, the camera isn't so great. But I could go ahead and say, oh, you were completely right. This is the Red Sox, and yes, that is the scoreboard, and in fact, that is the W.B. Mason sign in the background. So I can teach it, and it'll keep learning. So every time we do this, and it gets better and better and better and better and better. So the idea of being able to train your own model, whether you're doing full screen images and just training like Tiana, I'm just teaching you that that's a character and that's a character and that's a character, or whether you want to go individually into specific tags. Now, I don't know how many of you are experts in plants or in animals, but some people can really need to tell the difference between certain parts of identifying plants and animals, based on characteristics that are very noticeable when a microscope images, and then when you have tens of thousands of images or bacteria pictures. I mean, these are powerful tools that the computer can be taught how to do, and then the more data you give it, the better it gets. So really encourage you guys to take a look at this. And you can run with it. Now, of course, I've been showing you this through this demo kiosk that we have available, as well as the customvision.ai website. But of course, the code is the typical way to do this, is to create a Visual Studio project or whatever tool you like to develop in, and then you upload a mass set of data, you tag it all this way, and then you go through iterations and you train it. And then every time you run it, it gets better. Now, once you're all done with your model and you want to download it and extract it from the cloud and then run it on some sort of edge device like the phone or on a drone, maybe some of you saw some of the demos and some of the keynotes of drones flying over like power lines looking for things that might be wrong. This is the kind of where this stuff is headed. Image classification based on characteristics at a trained level. Microsoft will continue to provide these pre-built AI models, but invariably, I found with customers that they have data that's belong to them, that's custom to them, and so these data tools work exactly well. And here you get kind of a sense for once you've trained it, and now you deploy and you run it pretty much anywhere. And this is kind of, by the way, I should mention where most of our AI technology is headed. So you'll be hearing from us news about how we are looking to make more and more of our AI technology extractable so that it can run where you're at, where the devices are, on the edge. There's no need for a lot of these technologies to have to be calls to the cloud for each and every one. Like an example of me standing in front of the camera and I was doing the guessing of my age, every time it was analyzing me, it was making a call to the cloud. But I could have downloaded, extracted, run that face model only in my laptop here, and now it was just running locally. The difference, of course, is if I do want to preload it with names, like it recognized my name, and I want to keep that updated against maybe an Active Directory of images, then I need to connect back to the cloud, reform my model, then re-download it again. So just keep that in mind. But I think the power here is being able to deploy and run this anywhere, whether it's in a cloud setting or whether it's in a local setting. And there are a ton of scenarios that this stuff is being used for. I mentioned a bunch throughout the course of my presentation, but just to give you a sense for like what people are doing with this stuff, they've got cameras in production lines, tagging categories of things. They're doing things with retail on websites. They're scanning the things, what items they have so they can categorize those items. They're counting things that are going on. I mentioned animal identification. Safety hazard is a very big area. I have some examples of that, right? So a very simple example, in say a factory setting or in a construction zone, safety is a very big deal. So they set up a camera here. The camera takes a picture of everybody as they walk by the site, and then this person got flagged. Why did they get flagged? Because they trained the model that, one, everyone's supposed to wear this white hard helmet, and two, it's not on his head. So therefore, it's flagged. Right? So we've done a custom vision training on the hard helmet white, and we've done face API, and then we realized he's not wearing the thing that's supposed to be on his head, hence a red flag. I don't know what the resultant action of this is, if sirens go off, or he just gets a text, or whatever. But the idea is that we're using these technologies to perform checks in a safety example. How do we engage to do this? And how do you typically pick this stuff up? Well, if you'll allow me, one of the best ways that we've been working with customers is by starting with the first step of an envisioning workshop, which is really to ideate on how can you use this AI, and how can it best be applied into your scenario. Then we move from there into a proof of concept. A lot of the technologies that we've deployed, even with some of our preview technology, we make available to customers either in an offline or an online basis, and then we help them to deploy it. I want to give you an example of a scenario, one of these workshops that we did. I can't name the customer, but let's just say that this particular customer owns a series of tourist attractions. And the tourist attractions, they would like to use some of our vision capabilities to understand a little bit more about the behaviors of their customers as they interact with their attraction. So some of the things they're interested in are what faces and the genders, and where do they go, and what are they wearing on their clothing, and how do they react to what they're seeing in the tourist attraction, right? Now, I'm not going to go into the ethics and the privacy, because while that's a very important aspect, and it's something that Microsoft takes very, very seriously, we are assuming, of course, that the customer is working in this scenario with good intent. And so what they would like to do is track, where do my customers go throughout my tourist attraction, and how much time do they spend there? And they'd like to know all this data so they can better both staff and manage their tourist attraction. Sometimes it requires more security. Sometimes it involves putting, maybe a gift shop somewhere. Maybe they want to sell something. And maybe it's just about helping to move things along. Maybe people are spending way too much time in one particular area. And this could be true for whether we're talking about a store or a tourist attraction. So basically, we're going to use our technology to help them create a graph like this, which is identify a zone and count up the traffic, and then classify for them how many people are in that and how much time they're spending there, and do a snapshot every often, and we'll give them this data. And they can do this in the form of a Power BI dashboard if that's how they want to see it, or charts, or whatever makes sense for their business. So, and this is going to be, for them, they are super excited about having this, because this helps them understand their business better, and it helps them manage what's going on, as opposed to, counting. They certainly can't humanly count all this and be very accurate. Now, this is one example of one customer in one vertical market, and I suspect that many of you are sitting in this room, and you might be able to take advantage of a number of applications that we're working on right now, which involve these areas. And so in the idea that we can use computer vision and custom vision for pattern analysis and predictive action. Now, that's really powerful things, because really, at the end of the day, while we want to both analyze the patterns of data that we have, we want to also help us predict what's going to happen in the future and make for a better business environment. So I have customers who are already working on the third item there, which is called personalization and customization. When you step up to a kiosk or you activate an application, it can identify you by your face or by your voice print, and then make the experience that you would get when you work with their service digitally customized to you. It remembers who you are, right? I have other customers that are doing this for trend analysis. They're looking for fraud detection. Yesterday, I did a session where we had a customer example who's in stock trading, and they're looking for fraudulent stock trades, where the stock trades go against the norm of what happens in an everyday scenario, right? So how can you do that? We're comparing voice, we're looking at text, we're doing data pattern analysis, and we're performing this. So my goal with showing you this slide is just to intrigue you a little bit, is to say, what of these areas might be valuable to your business? And could you, in fact, apply any of these technologies from computer vision services to work in some of your environments? So that's my last slide. I want to thank you very much for your time today. We do have some time for questions, so I can attempt to take questions. But if you have something like very specific, and I know it happens, I'll be happy to stick around, and you can ask any questions that you like. But once again, before I go, I want to make sure that you remember where all of these items are located. So again, here's the website for Vision in terms of how to get to it. Basically, you can shorten it to azure.com/cognitive, and it'll be available to you. And feel free, try it. Almost everything that I've been showing to you is available for you to use for free, whether you code or you don't. It is available. So with that, I hope you have a really great Ignite, and I'll take any questions that you have. Thank you. I think there are mics if anybody wants to ask. Yeah.
On the video indexer, how do you train the video to recognize objects data that is your data?
So how do you do the custom training inside the video indexer?
Inside the video indexer. You upload a bunch of video and it's not recognizing your product.
Yes. So right now, the video indexer product doesn't use the custom vision APIs that we have available. That's a feature on that product's roadmap. So you wouldn't be able to use the video indexer out of the box to just do custom vision. You would have to use custom vision APIs separately for doing what you're doing.
Okay. All right.
That is, I think, an item on their roadmap, but they currently don't use it. Yeah, they'd use custom face and custom speech. Thank you.
What kind of size for data sets do you need before you start getting fairly accurate results from the vision?
Obviously, the more the better, but around 15 images per image from different angles is the best way to start. So about 15 per tag.
And does it work, is that same for video versus images, or does that change when you switch to videos?
Well, again, the way the image, the custom vision image learning system works is it has to be based on images, not based on videos.
So you can't recognize image. You can't recognize, like, if you take pictures of an object, you can't recognize that object inside of a video?
You can recognize it if two things happen. One is if the object is in our common object model, then you can. And there's a list of those. But I think the gentleman was just asking me, like, if I have custom objects that I wanted to recognize, and that's inside of videos. The video indexer tool doesn't do that today. But you could certainly break down not use the video indexer, use videos, and use some other tools to break down those images, and then apply and find that in videos, yes. And that is available to you. So it's not quite the same as the video indexer tool, which is a nice, easy-to-use bundle for video. But the way we are doing the camera images is to create the connection to the videos by sending it lots of images that are broken out of the video, and then I'm performing that action.
And does this work with the Vision AI toolkit, or is this completely separate?
The Vision AI toolkit, this is a different API specifically set up for that. The toolkit can include some of these calls, but it's not the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the great session.
Thank you.
I noticed brand recognition in one of the video demos you
Yes.
had. So my question is that available in textual form as well? So if we had a document with certain brands mentioned in it, is that available right now? I can feed through AI and find out?
That's a great question. I don't know that I have the answer for that. I know it's available in that tool, but I don't know if it's been exported to use against our text analytics. So take my email, send me that, and I will find you that answer. It's a great question. No one's asked me that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And one more question on the same line. How accurate is that, or how big of a brand it has to be for it to identify?
If it's in the public domain, which many public companies are, then it's very, very accurate. But again, like the other things I've been talking about with customized, brand is one of those things you can customize. So if the brand isn't all that famous yet, or it's just hitting the market, you can create a way to auto-recognize those brands. You can teach a model, and that is supported in the video indexer tool as well as our other tools. So that is something you can do, is to teach it a brand and upload that.
Okay, fantastic. And my last part, where do I find your email for follow-up?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't put that as the bottom slide. Yeah, good point. Let's see if I can get back to the slide that had my email address. There it is. And then, but thank you very much for bringing that up. That would probably be helpful. There we go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
If you decide to go all in on the custom visioning, you upload millions of pictures. Who owns that data? Does
You do.
Does Microsoft ever use it?
No, that's part of our data policy, is we're not allowed to use your data in any way. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because one, we can't use your data, and two, your data isn't even kept unless you store it in our storage. So when you use any of these APIs, the data that you used against is lost to us. In fact, it's lost to you. You upload the image, you grab the JSON, the image is gone. We don't save it. So all these APIs are sort of transient in that way, unless you store the data and the image yourself. But to your absolute most important point, Microsoft is forbidden from using your data in any way. While in some cases we would like very much to, and we do sign relationships with universities and research institutions to gain more data. That's part of our corporate policy on ethics, and we don't use it, so it belongs to you.
Another question. If you're training custom images, can you also use metadata that you know on the side about that image? And not just identifying it, but stuff that you can't see in the image. Can you use that to also enhance the machine learning model?
You mean beyond the visual spectrum?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
You see there's something in the image, but you can't actually see it in the image.
Yes, there's a way to do some helping along that way, yes, by changing the domain that you're talking about and helping us there. So we can give you information on how to do that, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Am I out of time? I think I might be out of time, so I'm going to get off the stage, and then feel free to keep asking me questions. But thank you again, everybody. Have a great Ignite.